Moon Podcast Escalation! Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan D. White.
My name is Chris Sims, and this is Sailor Business. It's the podcast where we sit down with a friend each and every week and watch an episode of the classic 1992 Sailor Moon anime and talk about why it is that we love it so much. And folks, we've gotten spotlights for Usagi. We've gotten spotlights for Ami. We've gotten spotlights for Mina, for Makoto. We've gotten Motoki spotlights before.
Have we had a Mamoru spotlight?
No, because no one cares.
There have been Luna spotlight. There have been Cat spotlight.
Luna spotlight.
And an Artemis, too. Both. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But never in the history of the show have we gotten a spotlight episode for Sailor Moon's mom. No. Not Queen Serenity, Ikuko Tsukino. And now that is all changing. We are going to be watching episode 130 of Sailor Moon Super's Protect Mom's Dream, Double Moon's New Attack, and I hope you like it when things get weird. And to help us talk about this bizarre episode of Sailor Moon, we have welcomed back Emily Yoshida. Emily, hello, how are you?
I'm doing just great. It's been a crazy week since last I spoke to you.
Yeah, it's been it's the new year.
Well, now we're a week into the new year, so a lot of stuff has happened.
Man, can you believe the crazy stuff the president did?
Yeah. That thing that he said. Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you for having me back.
Emily, we talked about your history, not just with Sailor Moon, but specifically with the character of Mimette last week. But do you have any recent Sailor Moon developments in your life?
So this isn't incredibly recent, but I think it was like around the fall. But I debate
when Lucifer plunged from heaven.
Wait, what?
The fall.
Oh my God. Yes, exactly. A long time ago.
No, the movie The Fall, starring what's his name?
The Lee Pace movie.
Lee Pace, exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Right around then.
Right around then, the turn of the century, dawn of silent cinema. No, the fall of 2016. Well, I think it was maybe right before, or it was during, I guess, the new Twin Peaks. Yeah, it would have been. And I seriously debated starting a Tumblr around. I guess it's a mashup. I guess it's in mashup territory.
Uh-oh.
But it was Hotaru Palmer. Just because I realized that Hotaru was kind of like a girl who had a horrible evil that was like tempting her soul. She had a dad who had two personalities. She wrote in her journal a lot. So I would just subtitle screen grabs of Hotaru being sad and goth and with dialogue from Twin Peaks.
Space Walk With Me.
I don't know. Yes. But then I was I was getting into Super S again, and I was like, this one is actually more Lynchian than S. Especially all the talk of like looking in people's dreams for this like hiding white horse. Like that's also very Twin Peaks. So it's all of my favorite interests overlap in some way or another.
So you're saying Twin Peaks is ripped off from Sailor Moon is what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, actually, no, Twin Peaks predates Sailor Moon. So I just think that I think Ikuhara was a big Twin Peaks fan. Actually, that would not surprise me at all. I would totally believe it if he was really into David Lynch.
I'll believe it.
That's it though. I don't know. It's on my Tumblr somewhere. I got a good laugh out of it. That's about it. But that's my most recent development.
Chris, did you watch?
Jordan, do we have any Sailor Moon recent developments in our lives?
Oh,
I did not watch the new Twin Peaks, actually.
Yeah, me neither, unfortunately. I've heard mixed things.
It's not like watching any other TV show, that's for sure. So.
Is it like watching Sailor Moon, though?
Well, I think watching the original Twin Peaks is somewhat like watching Sailor Moon. Those are both shows that I turn to and I'm just like, I want kind of comfort food in a way. The new one is more like kind of just a sensory experience, or it's like a very long kind of art project. Now the debate, I guess this is out of date if it's the first week of 2018. But the big debate among film Twitter is whether or not Twin Peaks: The Return is a movie.
What?
Because David Lynch said it was a movie, and so now
like a 10 or 12-hour movie or something.
Yes, yeah, and so all these film sites, some critics and stuff are putting Twin Peaks on their end of year lists of their favorite movies, and everybody is just in an uproar. It's a greater debate, a greater and more important debate was never had on old film Twitter.
Was it released in a single unit?
No.
Then no.
Yeah.
Then no, it's not. It's serialized.
Yeah, no, I think it's very silly.
Those were really long intermissions.
Yeah.
Week-long intermissions.
I mean, it does kind of function as one long thing, and I know why he said that, but it also is just like the classic thing of if it's good, then it can't actually be TV, or if it's challenging,
right.
It can't be television.
Speaking of challenging television, what do you say we just go ahead and get into this episode? Do we have any Sailor business?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. All right, let's do this. We are going to be watching episode 130 of Sailor Moon Supers, which, as I previously mentioned, is called Protect Mom's Dream, Double Moon's New Attack. It was written by Ryota Yamaguchi, directed by Hiroki Shibata, and animation directed by Hisashi Kagawa, and originally aired on March 18th, 1995. Jordan, I have some bad news.
Oh, I know what it is, you fucker.
Dude, hey, that's a little harsh. I mean, you swear at me a lot, and I will admit that I deserve
Chris,
a good bit of it, but that one's like, maybe calm down.
I have good news, Chris.
Okay.
For you anyway, not for me.
Is it that you're going to stop busting my chops?
No, never. I haven't looked yet.
Oh, you haven't looked yet?
I haven't.
Oh, all right.
Again,
then here we go.
I'm terrible at this.
And here we
I'm
go.
terrible at this.
Get to tell you, Jordan, our friends over at Cloverway, they gave this episode a new name. Do you know what it is?
I mean, Mother's Day is the first guess.
No. It does not have anything to do with the word mother.
Oh my God.
It does have... No, I disagree. It absolutely has something to do with other things.
Sure.
It
could have to do with lemon pie.
Actually, yes.
Oh my God.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Jordan. This could be the title of the entire season.
Oh, Jesus.
But it does specifically relate to the lemon pie.
Oh, fudge Sunday.
That's not the name of the episode.
That didn't help. That made it way harder, that hint. I feel like I have less of a clue. Okay. I don't know. What does it could be the whole season? There's a horse.
Yes, it's called There's a Horse. Look, a horse.
Chibi takes the cake.
No, but that is a good title. That could not be the title of the whole season, though. It's the name of a song.
Oh.
Well-known and popular song.
Sugar. Sorry.
No. Number one single of 1969.
I don't think I know that answer.
No,
Yummy in my
Sugar
tummy.
was the number one single of 1969.
I thought that was a hint. Okay.
No, it was not a hint.
All right, I give up. What is it?
It is called Sweet Dreams.
Oh, of course it is.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean that fits all the clues. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I should have guessed.
It actually is about lemon pie, but it's also about what this entire season has been about so far.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing it could be would be like Beautiful Dreamer is the other option of a popular song. All right, so speaking of dreams, we open with Chibiusa, also hair down, having yet another dream about Pegasus. It's almost like Pegasus lives in her beautiful dreams.
Wait,
Yes.
Chris. I'm sorry. You skipped the opening.
Oh, the opening is so
The
good.
opening is good. The opening
Yeah.
is very. I actually wrote stuff down about this.
Yes, because the whole opening is about how freaked out Sailor Moon is that her mom is having an affair and that she's going to punish her in Dad's name.
Yep. In Dad's name, I'll punish you.
Hey, speaking of, you know who does not appear in this episode? Yeah, Kenji not making the scene.
He's in a picture,
too.
and it's like I actually was like, "Oh yeah, she has a father. We haven't seen him in a second, but he's in a photograph at one point."
He's been busy.
I think this. I was just like looking through Sailor Moon Uncensored because I think that this is one that got very cut, just because the
really?
idea of like infidelity, and also like the whole thing of like which of them Ikuko loves more. I guess that's like too brutal a subject matter for Cloverway or whoever.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, I think a lot of this got softened. I don't know how they treated the
Let's
idea of Ikuko having an affair, because that seems like very complicated material for children, I guess.
I mean, that's not surprising. I mean,
No,
one
it's not
thing
at
we
all.
can agree on right up front. It's a weird episode.
Oh, it's totally bizarre. Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. Dream sequence, Pegasus talking to Chibiusa. When you're in trouble, call my name. Chibi wakes up in her attic, and we get the title of the episode. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
But then here comes the conflict, and I think this is maybe the greatest conflict that this show has ever known. Usagi comes home, puts her umbrella down, kicks her shoes off, and she smells that delicious Ikuko Tsukino lemon pie.
Mm-hmm.
And she rolls up into the dining room, and Chibi and Shingo, those two assholes, have eaten the entire pie for themselves.
I don't know how that's possible. That's so much pie for like two tiny people.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe Mom and Dad had a slice each. Maybe. But you're right. It is a lot of pie for a child to eat.
Yeah.
Now Chibi says this pie was a reward for us because the two of us both got 100 on tests. Apparently, this was like test time because everybody, regardless of grade, all had tests at the same time.
Well, I mean, I think it's not unusual to have tests in school.
No, of course. Both of them got 100s. And then Ikoko comes in and goes, because Usagi's like, well, that makes sense. You had easy baby questions because you're all a bunch of babies. And then Ikoko comes in and goes, yeah, I don't think you should be saying that shit. Here's your test that I found. 28.
She's gotten worse.
Like, it's like a new record.
Yeah.
I think maybe we've seen her get like a 14 or something before, but yeah. Usagi's most famous grade is, of course, 30%, which is what bops memory in the head, but way back in episode 1.
I feel like this is an actual like data point that tells us that she's, at least for this season, she got stupider. Like, I think that is a theme of this season.
But here's the thing. The entirety of last season, she was studying. They're getting ready for the high school entrance exams. And she's like, we have actually seen her studying.
Right, but we also saw her goofing off a lot too.
Yeah, no, she's not good at it.
Goofing off, i.e. saving the world.
I mean, Chris.
Yeah, Jordan.
What I wrote down is that she's very lucky she becomes queen of the world because I don't think she graduates high school.
Do you think she gets in?
Oh, well, I mean, spoiler, yes.
Okay, fine.
But
fine. I forgot you. There's additional show beyond what I've seen. It is not a new show.
But I don't think she gets out.
That would be fascinating, though, if she doesn't get in and she's just kind of like a bum and her friends are all like at school, but she's actually the most powerful of all of them. That would be very poignant.
Yeah, that would.
I don't know.
But yeah.
What if she just becomes a delinquent?
Like, she gets really bad grades. They're not like, it's not like she's getting like a 70 or a 68 and just like scraping by. She's getting really, really bad grades.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly felt genuinely bad for Usagi because she has been studying. Like, she has at least been there while studying has been happening.
That's not how studying works, Chris.
You absorb the studying through the air.
just bubble spray some study and she'll pick it up.
Yeah, so she had hidden this test under her bed, but Mom found it, and they say stop lowering the family average, which is
ridiculous.
That's
a harsh line.
Brutal. brutal.
So then she legitimately throws a terrible twos tantrum. She throws herself on the ground and flails every limb like a baby.
Yes. Yeah. Hope you're ready for this one, Jordan.
He cries pretty harshly sometimes, Mr. Darian does, and does wiggle a lot like that. But this is an adult. This is a 15-year-old girl.
No, not an adult.
A young adult.
Let's be real.
A young adult reader. Flopping on the ground like a child, going, but it's not fair that just because I got a bad test, I didn't get a slice of pie. And then the reveal of a Coco going, oh, I made enough pie for everyone.
Yeah. And Chibiusa being like, just being like, I'm gonna slide on out of this situation. And what I wrote down in my notes was classic Chibiusa, in parentheses, by classic, I mean she's an asshole. It's such a dick move.
Listen, like I said, Usagi is a child, but her animation here is adorable. Her character work here is adorable. I don't want a child freaking out this much in my life, but it's very funny on a show.
Yeah, the animation for all the like goofy, over the top, funny face stuff in the season is like really good. They devote a lot more frames to like them getting up in their faces and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, the animation in Super so far as a whole has been like pretty on point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really impressed with it. We'll see if they run out of steam by the end of the season. I really like that Usagi says, give me back my pie, yes. Give back what you ate, which is not how that works.
Yeah, not possible in the slightest.
But Ikuko also says something interesting here. She says, Usagi, you're the older sister.
Yeah.
No, she's not. And I mean, like, I know that she doesn't know that, but no, she's not.
Here's the thing. This is a change. I wrote this down later in the episode because I didn't really pick up on it here, but I picked up on it much more later. In the previous season, they very clearly said they thought she was her cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In this, they really seem like they're saying, no, she's my child.
Did she re-hypnotize them and edit the hypnosis to be the daughter? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've gotten, they've been referring to her like kind of casually as, big sister Usagi. Like, what is that? It's not Oni-chan, right? It's
One-san or One-chan. Yeah.
But I feel like literalizing that in this way, again, no one understands how anything works. We're going to be running up against that later in the episode as well.
It's just weird. It's just
weird. Like, why? You got to figure out how time travel works before you introduce time travel into your show. I don't think that's asking too much.
No. And listen, it's plenty weird to say our cousin is staying with us for a year or two, because then you have questions about what happened to her family. But it's doubly weird to literally have her just be like, yeah, I'm just going to tell your parents that I'm their kid too, and they're going to believe it. Is that cool?
I just want to know what Ikuko's life, obviously her husband is never around. And she's kind of in this constant cloud of hypnosis where she has had this new child walk into her life and she kind of just accepts it as her reality and bakes pies and like probably doesn't remember what happened the day before every day. Like she's just like in a constant mom cycle for these two mysterious children.
Wait. So are you like proposing like that every day Chibi's like re-hypnotizes her and it goes, oh, I deserve a pie again? And
totally. I bet that happens. She would totally abuse her powers like that. Yes.
Oh, that's horrible. What a fungus she is.
I wonder if this is us just taking this really literally, because like this would be like seeing somebody go like, hey, Gramps, and then being like, oh, is that guy his grandfather? Like that's not quite accurate.
The reason I wrote it down wasn't, like I said, not in the scene. It's in the scene where Ikoku is, spoiler, saying things like, my dreams are to watch you and Chibi grow up and get married and stuff.
Yeah, I got some bad news for her on that front.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. So she chastises Usagi for being mean about food.
Yeah, and Usagi says, hey, you can't dote on a child like that. It will put a strain on your marriage. I read that in one of your books, which I love because A, it means Ikuko has like parenting books because she's raising two problem children. B, it means that Usagi's putting in the effort to become a mother. Like she's reading the books to figure out how she can be a better mother to Chibi, so that's really sweet.
You're also being very nice to Sammy. He's kind of a dickhead too, don't forget.
No, I said 2 problem children. I meant Shingo and Usagi. Like, Chibiusa just dropped in her lap.
Oh, okay. I thought she counts. Okay.
Usagi runs out and like there's a really great beat where she comes back for her umbrella.
Because it's
which is
pouring
so-
rain.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a very classic slow comic bit, which I love.
Anytime anyone storms out and then quietly has to come back in because they forgot something, that's a joke that almost always works on me.
A+.
Usagi leaves and decides to go get dessert with her friends. And all of her problems with Chibiusa are that Chibi keeps eating food that she wants.
It's so real though. It's like
It
roommate
is.
stuff. That's like roommates. That's not sister stuff or like daughter from the future stuff. That's a roommate problem, and it's very real.
Well, the problem is if you have roommates, you can write your name on it, but they're both named Usagi.
Oh, yep. See? No, they talk about the food grudges, which is like this is a new idea.
Yes.
Makoto goes, food grudges can be scary. Like, food grudges are a concept that we know about.
Wait,
And
hold on. Let's think about this. Do we have any
Yes.
food grudges? Let's think really hard about this.
I've got a food fetish.
Wow.
Okay, maybe save it for Xena business.
No, those are 2 food related ideas that I feel like Sailor Moon completely invented whole cloth. The food fetish and food grudges.
No,
2
food
sides of the
fetish-
same. Well, I guess it's sort of, yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's
It's a
just
real
not
thing.
the way they used it.
No, food fetish for them is just like enjoying food. Like, I guess we all have a food fetish when it comes down to it.
I must have some sort of food grudge. Let me think about this.
It seems like you would, Jordan. You seem like the kind of person who would have
I mean, I have
okay.
a grudge against certain foods, but not against people based on foods that I can think of.
Yeah, first of all, we're both, gentlemen of carriage.
Okay. Yes. Fair.
But you are also like really weird about food.
Oh yeah. Well, I hate onions more than like anything
Hates
in the
onions.
world. Yeah, they're
All
the worst.
onions.
They're the worst.
Cooked or raw or both?
All forms of onions.
They're like
Also
in
scallions.
everything though.
I know, it's awful.
Huh.
There's a lot of things I don't like because for a long time I thought I hated meatloaf, and then I found out no, everybody just puts onions in it. So now I just make my own meatloaf without onions, and I'm like, this is
So
great.
weird.
Oh.
That's just a hamburger, Jordan.
Yeah.
You just invented a hamburger.
With bread,
What-
like
no,
it's a breadcrumb hamburger.
Yeah, you put breadcrumbs, and you can put cheese, and you can put all sorts of things. Anyway, point is, yes, onions are the worst. I have a grudge against onions, so that's my food grudge.
I don't understand this.
I will say that if I've dated people who are vegetarian and also vegan, and I've been both at varying times, but some of the worst fights that I've ever had with exes has been over like vegetarianism or veganism. Like
Wow.
that's like the most brutal thing to fight over.
See, food grudges are scary. You
Yeah.
know what? And I can't. I don't think I have an example of this, but I just remembered. People do get really mad about food grudges when it's like a workplace refrigerator situation.
Yes.
Like if somebody
true.
eats somebody else's food or a roommate.
If somebody steals your lemon pie,
Yes,
Mhm.
you're like, I put that in there and I saw you eating it, and people hold that grudge for a long time.
And they get to write like really passive aggressive notes and put it on the
Yeah.
fridge. And
Yeah. I think for me personally, food might be the only thing that I do not have an existing grudge about. So maybe we just go ahead and move on.
Okay, so they're in the cafe. They're wearing some nice outfits.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. Like, we can do fashion corner, but these are pretty basic outfits, except for Makoto has made the choice of wearing a watch over her sleeve.
Oh yeah, that was real weird. I forgot about that.
And Ami is dressed as bondage collar Han Solo, which is very, very cute.
I like Mina's dress.
Did you notice how they're sitting, Jordan? Just quick question. Did you notice how they're sitting?
I didn't, but now that you say it, yeah, they are sitting in their couples, aren't they?
They're as their couples. They were on a double date when Chibiusa ran in, or when Usagi ran in screaming and demanded a milkshake.
What are they drinking here? So I can't tell. They've all
I
got
think they
different
just got different sodas. Yeah.
colored drinks. Yeah, we got an orange one, a green one, a purple one, a kind
Well,
of.
the green one's melon soda.
They
Right,
always
right.
have melon sodas. Yeah.
I mean, orange is probably orange. I guess Ami's drinking grape soda, and then Makoto's like, "No, I drink tea. Come on."
Yeah, Minako's got her mimosa going. It's brunch. It's a rainy day brunch. And then we get to the real root of the problem, because it's not about food. It's about how
No.
Chibiusa is more important to Ikuko than Usagi is, which causes her to fire hose tears out of both sides of her face.
Absolutely.
I hate to be like blunt here, but when was the last time that Usagi actually like was thinking about or talking about her mother at all? Like, does it really matter to her that much?
We haven't seen Ikuko in a year.
Yeah.
We could probably find out, right?
The last appearance of Ikuko.
Yeah, let's look.
I feel like she's usually around the ends of seasons because there's usually some kind of weird beat where it's like she's going to go out and have a final battle and has to say goodbye to mom or something. Or maybe that's just in the first season.
None of the Sailor Moon wikis have like a list of what episodes she appears in that I can find.
I feel like she's mostly absent throughout S. I don't know. And that would be weird too because they're hanging out at home a lot, Chibiusa and Usagi, but I don't know that we see that much of the mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Ami says, hey, it's natural for Ikuko to take care of a small kid. You know, your mom loves you. But also, Chibiusa is living apart from her parents right now.
Nope.
No, she's not. No, she's actually not. She's living with her mother.
And her grandmother.
And her grandmother. And her uncle. And her grandfather. And her dad is around most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. She's not like in her native time, but you can't just say she's living apart from her parents because Usagi is her mom.
No, I think you can. Usagi is not yet the woman she will be when she is Chibiusa's mother. I think if I was to go back in time and hang out with my mom when she was a teenager, it would not feel like hanging out with my mom. It would be like hanging out with a different person.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but you can't, like, okay, if this is your first episode of Sailor Moon, then you are going to think Chibiusa is Usagi's sister. Ikuko named both of her children Usagi, which is weird.
No, because Ikuko's not her real mom. But
then Ikuko's also not her real mom.
Right.
It's and I don't think it's any less confusing to be like, now come on, Usagi, you know that Chibiusa's from 1,000 years in the future when you're a slightly different person, because she's actually not a different person. She still writes letters that only use hiragana. That is established. She's basically just Usagi, but like 2 inches taller.
I think it makes me appreciate Chibiusa a little more to just think of her as being kind of like secretly homesick this entire time, whether or not that's like directly missing her mom or just in general missing her home. Like that makes her brattiness make more sense. It always has.
That would make me really mad at her because
then why didn't she go back?
Saw an episode where her mom was like, "Come home," and she was like, "I don't want to go home,and then she doesn't go home.
Back for like a weekend and then come back. Like it's fucking time travel. No one understands how time travel works.
No. So now I'm imagining though, like I wonder how like how rich of a backstory she hypnotizes into Ikoku. Like if Chibi is like, oh yeah, let me make her remember a sibling she didn't actually have and their tragic death that resulted in her having to raise me. And Ikoku is like crying every night about the sister that didn't ever exist.
No, I'm telling you, the Ikuko perspective on this is so tragic. Like I imagine her just like sitting in the living room, like constantly looking through old family photos, like in the dark. Like that's just what she's always doing, and like trying to figure out.
Why did I not take pictures of Chibi?
Yeah.
Except
Too
for
bad.
last year. Like, how did we miss that? And wait a minute. How come in this picture from like a year ago, she's like 3 or 4 years younger? Weird.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
You don't like you don't like that her excuse is that that she misses her parents, or that she's not considering Usagi to be her mom?
I don't like the way that this show does not understand time travel or present it in an understandable way.
Nope. So we cut from 5 teenagers having some sodas to 3 hard-drinking sexual predators in a jazz bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the thing I have written down in my notes for this point is no one has noticed. This thing is so big.
Oh, the circus thing?
The outer space circus tent is so large. It's the size of it's a city block. It's the size of several buildings.
Yes.
Chris, you don't live in a big city like we do, and stuff like that appears in New York City, and you don't even ask. You just go, yeah. That's a thing.
I guess the circus is in town. That's usually the explanation, I would say.
Or it's like, this is some promotion for some movie nowadays.
Right. It's an activation. It's a brand activation. Hovering over Tokyo. Yeah. They've got VR.
Bananas.
They've got all sorts of stuff.
It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up advertising a circus film.
Interactive art. Totally.
That is unbelievably wild. And Lan, here's my question: do people just not see it? Are people like not like? Is it cloaked? Because
Usagi saw it. Remember,
the Black Moon Clan, they had like a cloaked ship.
No, it's definitely there.
Yeah, Usagi saw it and talked about it.
Yeah. Like after the eclipse, they're like, oh, that wasn't there before. Everybody went about their days. Yeah.
Only Usagi seemed to notice it. And she's the queen of the universe, so
it has
maybe she has special powers.
It has an SEP field from Hitchhiker's Guide. Somebody else's problem field. Everyone ignores it.
I mean, it is someone else's problem. That is absolutely true. So yeah, we're back in the bar.
And okay, here's the thing: we're back in the bar, and they might as well make it official and just call this the Sex Predators Club, because they are literally giving Tiger's Eye shit for not bagging the girl last episode.
Oh yeah,
they're creeps.
They are. What did I write down? You failed to make a woman yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I mean, at the same time, is there anybody you've legitimately wanted to see the Sailor Senshi beat up more than these guys?
Yeah, no, I think that they're creeps, and I think it's for a reason. Like, it's like a very, I don't know. It's them coming up with more. Like, I feel like the enemies have gotten kind of progressively more like reflective of adult problems or something as time has gone on. Like, we talked about how the Witches 5 are very like workplace, office rivalries and professional one-upmanship and stuff. And then these guys are just like, the assholes are going to hit on you in a bar like later on in life. And I don't know.
It's so, it's really nasty. In this scene, they get into
balls nasty.
We know Tiger's Eye's predilection for cute girls. In this, we address that. Who is it? Hawkeye?
It's Hawkeye, yeah.
Hawkeye is into older ladies. They're all like, yeah, you're still into older ladies, right? Because he picks out a picture of, as you said,
Ikuko Mama.
Yeah, he's getting a MILF.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then
he's hunting a MILF, which makes him some sort of MILF hunter.
They showed
I couldn't get through my own stupid joke.
It's gross. That's why. But then
she's a mother I'd like to force to reveal her beautiful dreams so I can see if a horse is a man.
Yes.
Okay, great. And while he's thinking about doing this, he takes a sip of his drink, and then we get a fucking intense tongue licking across lips close up. That is so goddamn disgusting.
I mean, I will say at least Tiger's Eye never did that when he was talking about how he only prefers like fresh young girls. Like, at least we never had the tongue shot for that, because that would be a little bit of a bridge too far if it hasn't already been crossed.
At least Hawkeye is talking about an adult woman and not, dating a 14-year-old.
Yeah. But I think Tiger's Eye is like, ugh, like she's too old for me or something like that. Which is also just so horrible.
I love that his special technique is called the Madam Killer.
Madam Killer.
So fucked up.
That should be the name of this episode of not of Sailor Business, but of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Here's my question about this. I mean, again, this is all so disgusting and gross. Obviously, I don't think we are bringing the sex to this. Obviously, sex is baked in.
Oh, no. This show has gotten real horny.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to know about this. The missions that they are on is not to sex ladies. I was going to get vulgar, and I decided not to. The mission they are on is not to sex ladies. It's to look into their dreams.
Yeah, but there's a very...
No,
there's a very like penetrative aspect to what they're doing.
No, I get you. But what I'm saying is, he succeeded on that front. He managed to tie her up, pull out her mirror, and stick his head in.
Oh God! When you put
Somehow
it like
that
that,
sounds worse.
ugh.
Somehow that sounds worse than
But I
penetrative.
actually, this is like one aspect in which, like, yes, it's very creepy and uncomfortable, but I think that the whole thing that, like, what they're actually just trying to do is see their dreams is a very interesting. It's interesting that that's sexualized to the degree that it is in the show, because that is like, that feels almost like more of a very like deep violation than just being gross and horny and trying to hold somebody's hand or something. But like, they're really actually trying to see like the most private aspect of a person that like goes beyond, you know, violating them sexually, which is like kind of astute, I think, on the part of the show. Like it's a very yeah, it works very well, I think, as a metaphor, because it is so creepy.
Do you think they're trying to... What do you think is the thinking behind this? Do you think that the people making the show are like, we're making a show for young girls, let's show them how terrible sexual predators are? Or are the people making the shows a bunch of creeps too?
I literally think it's both.
Yeah.
Because we know Ikuhara's a creep.
Yeah. But he's also really good with, like, I think he's like good at identifying these like little aggressions, like especially, you know, anti-women aggressions and misogyny and stuff like that. I think he's like pretty smart about that. It's just like he goes there maybe. And I think I did read that they kind of had to rein him in for the second half of the show. Like, this is, I think, the more where Ikuhara is letting his freak flag fly, and then like later on it kind of gets a little tamer.
I don't know the manga, but I would be really curious because I mean, we know that Takeuchi has put in like there's a lot of metaphor and a lot of like things that would be like relevant for young girls to learn in Sailor Moon about like the people around them. And you know, we've seen it before, like the entire Nephrite arc, for as much as, you know, as much as it made us hate Nephrite, like, is like, hey 14-year-olds, that older guy isn't really interested in you. Like, he's
I don't agree.
He's seducing you for, like, it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah,
but like,
no, because that's the thing. That was our arc in Sailor Business of like realizing that this is some creepy predator shit. But the show,
yeah, I guess you're right. He does get a full redemption.
Yeah, no, and the show definitely takes Molly's heartbreak or Naru's heartbreak very seriously, and it is like a tragic romance for the show.
I mean, it should be a tragic romance for Naru.
Yes,
just not for I don't know. Yeah,
it's more like, you know, be careful the first time you fall in love. Like, it can be devastating. That feels more like the action. Sailor Moon says, never let your vulnerability show.
So back at the house, Chibiusa goes downstairs and she finds Ikuko going through some old photos, and we see a bunch of super cute photos of Usagi.
Oh my god, it's insanely cute. It's so cute.
But here's my question: we see Usagi's first day of school, and Ikuko's with her, and for the first, like, this is literally the first time, I think, maybe in the vacation episode where they all went to the woods and fought a ghost, but like, she has been in the same, like, her character model, her outfit has been the same. Like, she's wearing, you know, the turtleneck and the skirt and an apron because she's a homemaker. Mm-hmm. But in this flashback, or this picture, she's wearing like a suit, like a business suit with heels. And so my question is, was Ikuko a businesswoman at one time?
Oh man.
Like, did she only like become a stay-at-home mom like after Shingo?
Maybe what she's really reminiscing about is like, I used to be able to have it all. I had a career and I had a family. And then I gave it up for my beautiful dream, which was just to have a family. My career wasn't that important.
Or does she just dress up for like occasions, like the fact
that's what
first day of school? That's
what I couldn't figure out, because I initially thought that she was carrying a briefcase, but it's just a clutch. She's just got her purse.
Well, if you're not would you wear a suit, like a lady suit, if you weren't?
Would I wear a lady suit?
Would you wear like a business? Like, if you're taking
perfect disguise,
would you have them in your wardrobe if you were not if you didn't have to attend like corporate meetings? Would you have one just for like, I don't know, going to the market?
Yeah. Good point.
I honestly have no, like, I don't know, in the way that there's a lot about Japanese culture that we don't know about. I don't know if, like, your first day of school is like an occasion where the parents would like dress up to take you. But I mean, that seems like a thing
For a
that would be
picture.
plausible. Like, if you, you want to look nice for the pictures, maybe.
Yeah. But she wouldn't be wearing her homemaker outfit regardless if she was
wouldn't
going.
be wearing this apron.
Yeah, no. Although, is she wearing it later when they go out, when she's carrying the lemons?
I think so. We'll have to double check.
She is. Because that's the thing. It's weird enough where I'm like, well, surely they're not just going to make another like character model for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they clearly do, at least for this picture. Because the other picture that we see is not of today, but it's a recent picture that has Usagi and Shingo and Chibi in it, and she is wearing the same outfit, including the apron, and that's the only time we see Kenji.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the scene too where she says the thing about her dream is to watch the three of them grow up and be healthy and happy, which is what made me go like, wait, what? So this is her kid, she thinks?
Again, I've got some bad news for her about watching Chibiusa grow up.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is that she's 1,000 years old.
I thought you didn't accept that, Chris.
I don't, but look, who knows anymore?
Who could tell?
I still don't think this is the same Chibiusa.
You mean it's a different timeline of her, or?
Yes. I think this Chibiusa comes back from the Crystal Tokyo that doesn't get destroyed, but she's obviously in her timeline come back before. I don't think Chibiusa is a Marty McFly, where she's a universal constant.
Do you think? I think we've talked about this before, but do we think that Akuko is 30-something forever?
See, yeah, that's my question. Does Ikuko get to be immortal? Does Kenji get to be immortal?
And are they still fussing over Usagi when she's queen of the universe?
Oh man, Ikuko as the queen mother would be very good.
She just makes her make lemon pie constantly.
I kind of think I always assumed that some cataclysm was going to happen, and or maybe not even that, but that at some point Usagi would just stay the same age, or like be aging very slowly, and her Earth family would all die. Like she would see Shingo become an old man while she was queen of the universe. I know, it is sad. I just assumed that they wouldn't be making the trip through time with her.
See, I thought everybody lives forever when she becomes all powerful, not just the scouts.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I don't know. I do know that I don't know how the live action show ends, but I do know because the Sailor Moon Tumblr that I'm a big fan of a young woman who watched Sailor Moon for the first time and like blogged it all over a couple of years and is now like a huge fan. She just watched the little epilogue act of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, and it's like a few years later, and they're just living their normal teenage lives. Like they're just completely normal. I think it's set 5 years later, so like Ami's in med school.
Oh
no! And they don't have to worry about fighting monsters.
Oh wow!
So the whole second Silver or Neo Crystal, whatever the fuck, I totally lose track of what it's called in the future. That doesn't happen in
Neo Crystal,
Guardian.
whatever the fuck. That's it. Yeah. I guess
I don't know if it does or if it's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen for a few years. We better finish college.
Yeah. Okay. So that's also kind of what I thought. It was like at some point there is a year where it's like, okay, now we begin this Neo Crystal Tokyo. And you guys are all here, and now you're ready to like assume your new positions as the leaders of this new role. But you get to grow up to a degree, like you get to get into your 20s or whatever.
I now believe officially that unless the show proves otherwise between now and the end of the series, I believe that Sailor Moon never finishes high school. That is my new absolute headcanon. That she becomes queen of the universe before high school's over, and she's like, "Oh, thank God."
No, I think that makes sense.
Jordan, you've got a lot of problems with monarchy.
Oh yeah.
I think I would have a lot of problems with monarchy if the queen of the universe was unable to complete high school.
It's not
that she's unable to, it's just we never find out because, the shit hits the fan before she has to do her SATs or whatever.
Luna is like, we're going to give you your GED. And she's like, Sure, right. Sure, we will.
Yeah.
Maybe she uses the disguise pen. Maybe she's just like, turn me into a cute high school graduate.
Or Luna P turns into a diploma.
Perfect.
So Ikuko decides she's going to make some more lemon pie because, she's like, hey, you really need to apologize to Usagi for eating her piece. It's her favorite. I'm going to go make more. So they go out shopping and buy a bag full of I don't know how many lemons go into lemon pie. I honestly don't.
Well,
I baked cookies last night, and it was the first time I've ever baked cookies.
Here's my thought. It looks like they're going through a park. I think it might be a park where a certain violinist we know might be practicing, and they might need to drop off some props for her act.
Perfect.
All right. I'm looking up Aunt Tootsie's lemon
That's what I
meringue
just
pie.
clicked on
That's
myself.
The first,
Wow.
yeah, because you looked up lemon pie recipe? Same. And it's a recipe on a website, so of course you have to scroll down for 4 years before you get the actual recipe.
This one just uses lemon juice. Let's see what I'm looking at.
Well, yeah, but there's not that much juice in a lemon, so you have to get a lot of lemons.
It's a half cup of fresh lemon juice. Ikuko's walking around with a dozen lemons.
Well, is it a lemon pie like a lemon meringue?
He's looking at definitely was lemon meringue. Let me see if there's other ones.
Well, I mean, the one that she makes in the show looks like a lemon meringue pie. Like it's got the meringue on top, or some kind of whipped topping.
I'm on Pillsbury.com. Let's see how much theirs takes.
Let's see. This one,
half cup.
Magnolia's lemon pie.
It's a half cup of lemon juice. And listen, no offense, but I feel like you need a half cup of lemon juice. You just buy that little bottle of lemon juice. No? Oh my God.
No. I think fresh lemon was we know that, he said, Sailor Moon says in the intro that Ikuko makes the best lemon pie in the world.
Right.
Courtesy of a plastic real lemon.
It's not like Usagi doesn't have some expertise in lemon pie. Like if Usagi tells you this is the best lemon pie I've ever had, there's been a large sample size to get that.
All right. But the point is she doesn't need that many unless maybe she's going, they love this lemon pie so much, I'm just going to have to keep making this stuff.
Right, yeah, that she has backup. Or she might, she might want to make some lemon curd, or maybe there was just a sale and if she was like, may as well just get as much lemon stuff as possible. Also, yeah, I think she'd definitely be making it with real lemons because she's a housewife as opposed to a career. Doing it with the lemon juice is like a real career woman move. Save some time. You've got a busy day. You're not going to sit at home. You don't have time to sit at home juicing lemons all day. But it's been very established that Ikuko is a dedicated housewife. She would have real lemons.
But is there a substantial difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. I don't know.
According to this, I just looked it up. There are 2 tablespoons of lemon juice on average in one lemon. How many tablespoons in a cup? 8?
I think
tablespoons a cup.
I think this 3 tablespoons in a quarter cup, if memory serves. So, yeah. So it's
how many tablespoons
6
in a
tablespoons.
16. So she would need at least 6 lemons.
Yeah.
To get that much lemon juice. So I guess this tracks.
Your math is off there, friend.
What do you mean?
If there's 16 in a cup and you said it's a half a cup, then that would be
right.
8.
Yeah, you're right. She would need at least 4.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, 4. That's
4 because there's 2 per lemon? Okay, then you're right. 4.
Yeah.
4.
6. 6, that's a good safety backup. You don't want to have too little in case you get a couple rusty ones.
She bought 27.
She did buy an even dozen. But I mean, that makes sense. If you go in the store, maybe they were having a sale.
Yeah.
We've spent so much time justifying the amount of lemons in this episode.
There was definitely a lemon sale. Can we just say, regardless, there was a lemon sale.
She went to the lemon shop that Jedi opened. And we're having a big lemon
Humans are very interested in pie these days.
So there's a creeper in a shrub.
Literally in the bushes.
Yes. Eyeing them, and he does his finger snap, and what it does is it causes the bottom of the lemon bag to burst open, so the lemons spill all over the ground. Chibi is scandalized by this. By the way, she's like, "This is not the end of the world. Lemons are kind of protected. They have
they're in peels."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. Chibi flips her face out.
So Hawkeye runs out in his. I think he thinks this is how normal people dress. He's please, just straight up, I'm not going to make Tiger's Eyes mistakes. I'm going to wear a perfectly average, normal human outfit. So get me some two-tone green wingtips, some jeans that are about a foot too long that I have to make some big cuffs with, maybe like a laser purple backpack and 2 shirts. Thank you.
I think he's supposed to be a runaway. He's supposed to be like a hitchhiker or like a backpacker from Europe. Because doesn't he give his name and it's like some Russian name?
Yes.
I think he's supposed to be like a little hard, like he's like down on his luck, or he's like I don't know.
Well, he says he's come all this way searching for his mother.
Well, no, but wait, you can't introduce that fact that way. You have to talk about what happens.
Okay.
Which is he runs up, touches her hand, and he goes,
"Mommy!" It's so amazing.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So he starts telling her that she is his mother. And
he doesn't. He says, "I'm looking for my mother. You look just like her. Here's a picture of her. It's identical. Her name's Ikuko."
Yeah, he says her name's Ikuko. So I mean, it's not like he's like it's not like this is a real story. He's clearly trying to make Ikuko think that he is her long lost son.
He also fabricates
but she would know.
a locket with her picture in it. He has like 10 times more tricks than Tiger's Eye did, because the locket trick is sneaky.
Yes, but let me ask you a question. See, Chris and I are male, which makes this a little bit different. But as a woman, if someone came up to you and said, "I'm your child," you might not remember having a child, but I'm your child. Is there any chance that this at all you entertain this possibility?
Like, how old do you think I am? For how old are you? Yeah. How old do you think I am?
Several things that I wrote down. One, generally speaking, it's a lot easier to scam someone into thinking they might be your father than your mother, because mothers are usually there when the baby comes out.
Yes.
The second thing is that Hawkeye is about 31 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but he's coming off as a grown-ass adult.
I think he's not actually. I think he's supposed to be younger than Tiger's Eye, because his thing is that like he likes older women, so he's like what's the name of it where you're like a kept man, like he wants to be like a kept man or something.
He wants a cougar.
Yeah. Well, what's the male?
I don't know what the male version is.
So I always assumed that he was supposed to be a little younger. Also, everybody looks like they're 31 in Sailor Moon when they're really like 16 or 18 or something. And like, I don't know. They could be teenagers for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, like, Akuko herself does not look appreciably older than, say, Rei.
Yeah.
You know?
Can we also talk about the fact that the picture he shows of her is like from the 1800s?
She's like
it's like she went to the store in the mall where you dress up and they take an old-timey picture and then she put it in the locket.
Yeah, by the end there, Mom was kind of going, like she had her portrait taken at the theme park in Pioneer Land. Gave it to all of her children.
She does call him "you poor man," not like "you poor young man" or child or anything. She just calls him man.
Yeah, so by his logic, by his confusing ass scam logic, Ikuko would have looked the exact same as she does now 31 years ago when he was a baby.
Well, let's talk about how old
Victorian
she is.
times.
How old is she? Let's think about this.
Well, okay, Usagi's 14.
Yeah.
So Akuko's at least 35.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I think she could have had. I don't know. It seems like
you think she had Usagi like really young?
Actually, if she was a career woman first, then maybe she was older, because she like had a full professional life and then had a kid and became a housewife.
Well, let's see if we know that Usagi was born in 1978. So let's look up and see if they have Akuko Tsukino's birthday listed. Akuko's age is 36.
Okay.
According to the Sailor Moon wiki. So yeah, so she's not.
I would be so offended if I was.
Yeah. In the manga, Usagi notes that in all her 36 years, Akuko Mama has never gotten a cavity. This confirms that Akuko's age is 36 towards the end of the manga, meaning she was probably 34 or 35 at the beginning.
Okay.
So she was 20 or 21 when she gave birth to Usagi.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll buy it.
Well, I think the whole thing is supposed to be not that she necessarily is like, oh, there's a possibility this could be my son, but more that it's speaking to her beautiful dream, which is to have a family, but it's like her maternal instinct is like the central part of her beautiful dream. So if
No,
there's a
I feel like she could have like okay. I feel like if Hawkeye just would have been like a guy who like stopped to help with the lemons and then like was like, oh, my heart or whatever, like Ikuko would like bring him home and take care of him or whatever.
Right.
Like that would be a much better plan than like, hey, I'm going to try to con this woman into thinking that she is exactly like my mother. Or possibly my mother, then I'm going to seduce her.
Yeah, this
That's
makes
a
no
weird
sense.
Plan.
What is this plan? Why would that work on anyone, let alone her?
I think he's just counting on her maternal instinct being like the thing that's going to break her down, or the thing that will, let her lower her guard for a complete stranger who runs into her.
Even that, you know what? I'll even buy that. But then you don't add the factor of my mom might be you / looks exactly like you and has the same name as you. Just the sob story of I lost my mother, I've been searching for her and I have no leads. That's a sad story. And then you can go, oh yeah, you know what? Let me comfort this guy. And then it's also slightly easier to transition into the, by the way, do you want to make out? When you're not sitting there saying, you might be my mom.
I don't want to speculate about what kind of relationship he's like proposing that they have, because they obviously don't get that far with it. But I feel like none of this would be a conflict in that relationship.
Okay, all right. So the name he gives is Nikolaevich D. Blavatsky.
Sure.
Nikolaevich D. Blavatsky.
Super real name.
Not as good as Maxfield Stanton.
Yeah.
Because, people are actually named Nikolaevich. No one is named Maxfield.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, he does this weird con. Then, like, Chibiusa runs to get help.
But yeah, because he falls over.
He, like, as soon as... Well, I guess that's when we get our act break, and we'll get back to what happens after that in a moment.
Wait.
Yes?
He faints. And he's like, I haven't eaten so long. How I wish I could eat mommy's pickled radish one more time.
Oh, that's right. And Ikuko sends Chibi off to get radishes.
Yep.
If you haven't eaten, I feel like the first thing you would go for would not be pickled radish, like to fill you up. Feels like you have to eat a lot of pickled radish.
He should eat those lemons.
Exactly.
Hey, Jordan.
That's me.
Have you heard about patreon.com/sailorbusiness?
I have. I talked about it last episode.
Yes, you did. That's right. Sometimes you forget things, though.
That's true. How do we start the show again?
Yeah, you say your name.
Oh.
But people can go to patreon.com/sailorbusiness, and that's where they can sign up to help financially support the show. They can help us get to goals where we do things like Motoki's Game Corner, where I'll be playing some Xena and Sailor Moon video games. I will also be... no, I won't be doing anything. You're doing music.
Yeah.
You and Allie are doing songs for the episodes.
Most recent song I did was the Outer Senshi transformation song, which I think turned out really well. But I do need to do a new one.
But they can also sign up and get rewards like the pin that we made that Katie Donnelly designed. We're getting to the new year, so we should probably think about making a new pin.
All right, listen. If you have a suggestion for our new pin, write into us.
Yeah.
Tweet us at Sailor Business or send us an email at Sailor Business Podcast for what kind of thing would you like to wear on your lapel that is especially Sailor Business related.
Sailor Business or Xena Business.
Or Xena Warrior Business, absolutely. And
yeah,
not
I don't
the
know if
saddle.
there's we should just make the exact Sailor Moon tennis ball pin that we made, but have the tennis ball be the chakram instead.
Sailor Moon chakram, or have it be Xena?
Well, no, because Xena never gets turned into a tennis ball. Although that would be very cute as a pair.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll see if Katie wants to draw Xena with her body as a chakram. I think that one could be fun.
All right, but first, let's let them write in, since I just
if you've got some ideas, get in touch. Leave us some comments on the Patreon page. Oh,
yeah.
You can also get the songs that Allison's been writing for Xena Warrior Princess episodes as separate downloads, not just in the show. Dan Casino sent us the big Dan Scrolls compendium where he annotated his notes that he made for Xena Season 1. I'm trying to do more show notes for Sailor Business and Xena Business as they go up. All kinds of fun bloopers, outtakes, great stuff happening over at patreon.com/sailorbusiness. Jordan.
Yes.
Now that we've done that, do we got any? We got a couple Twitter questions you want to knock out?
We sure do. Let's take a look. I asked our listeners to shoot us some, and they did not disappoint us. Here's a question from Jenny Odo.
Future guest.
Yep, absolutely. What one power would you want from the show, and how would you use it to solve mundane problems? Example, Mars campfire soul.
Well, obviously I want bubble spray.
No, you wouldn't. No one would want that.
I think
You'd be
I would.
least likely to kill a friend of yours with bubble spray. That's one thing.
Well, that is true. But how often, Chris, do you walk around going, I wish I couldn't really see that well. If only it was foggy.
Here's the thing, Jordan. Bubble spray lowers the temperature, and I live in a fucking Carolina, buddy.
Yeah, but it also makes fog.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So?
Okay, you want to walk around in a fog all the time.
No, I want to sit in my chair and do work like I do every day.
All
But I
right.
want it to be
Well,
colder.
you could use
Okay.
bubble spray if you didn't really feel like getting dressed that day, or you just wanted to walk around in your pajamas, but you didn't want everybody to see you in your pajamas, or be like a cloak.
Emily, I have some bad news for you. Again, I work from home. I do not get out of pajamas. Ever.
I'm not going to ask you what you're wearing right now for fear of the answer.
To pull back the curtain, I had to run out and get some take my wife lunch. So I am actually wearing jeans. I wasn't for the first time of the episode though. Your boy was in Zubaz.
Here's the thing. I think I know the real answer that pretty much every person would want. Disguise pen.
Disguise. I was gonna say moon healing, because then you could heal people's if you're.
Does it heal? Does it heal real? Have we ever seen it actually heal like a wound?
It turned Catsy
Yeah,
good.
it turned
Right.
people good.
Well, but it did. But we had a large discussion about that being placebo.
I think it probably was, but look, I think she's tried to moon heal people of non having monster gems inside them.
She didn't heal anybody in the Everybody's Sick episode.
That's true. That's true.
She didn't heal Nephrite.
Well, no, that dude was dying anyway. Emily, any thoughts?
Oh, well, I mean, aren't all of her attacks kind of healing in some way? Like if she kills a monster, like if she kills a thing that's, I guess the diamonds are all made out of an object, so she defeats it, it just turns back into an object. It doesn't destroy the object.
I don't know.
Well, the object usually breaks.
I don't think heart attack is healing. It smashes into people like a truck.
Yeah. Moon Tiara magic, heart attack, those are pretty much just taking a hammer to something.
I mean, Sonic Cry, not super useful. I don't think I'd want that. Extendo Cane is pretty cool.
Yeah.
God, of all the
I'd
things
like
you
to
could
be
do.
able to jump up in the air and have a pen come out of me.
You want to have Luna
Yeah.
powers.
In
Okay.
case I ever need something to write with, I need to take some notes.
Perfect. Let's see what else we got. Here is a question from our old pal. Well, I think this was a joke one. Our pal Elise Dubois asks, "Who's the trashiest of all trash piles?" I'm not sure. I'm not sure we necessarily have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's oof. I mean, I guess by definition it would be Mamoru.
Well, I guess. Nemo asks, what does Sailor Pluto do while she's waiting for somebody to try to get past the gate? Because every time Chibi FaceTimed her on Lunapi, she was kind of short on words. Is she just playing Candy Crush or something in the meantime? Did she get banished to the longest smoke break?
I think she's got memorupictures.tumblr.com open on her phone.
Is that real? Let me go look. No, it's
You
probably
can
not real.
probably get it.
I don't think I'm going to waste. Fans of our show, feel free to grab that and put it up, but only put nice pictures of him. Or that one when he was typing the last episode. Just put that one up over and over again.
She's probably just trying to get a blog started herself, I feel like. She was like, well, I've got all this time. I should probably finally start that blog I've been talking about.
But she doesn't have any life experience to put in it. She's going to be sitting there every day.
Yeah, look, life experience is not necessary for a blog. I can confirm that.
Self-slam. Jason Ibrahim asks, suppose Toei closed its animation wing. Which animation studio would you like to take to make a new Sailor Moon anime in their place?
I legitimately do not know enough about animation studios.
Yeah, and
I don't know. The other shows I watch are like from Cartoon Network, so
I mean Pixar.
No, Pixar's problematic now. Can't pick Pixar.
Well, I think he's gone now, right? I mean, again, South Park Studios. No, I'm just kidding. Same with Archer. I know Archer has some great artists, but it would be a weird version of Sailor Moon if it was done by the Archer folks.
I'd be kind of into that. I would see that.
I don't know. And 100% of the people that we know who work on Archer are really good at drawing Sailor Moon.
Agreed. I'm not saying they won't be good looking. I'm just saying it'll be a fucked up Sailor Moon show. That's
As
all.
opposed to this season.
Right.
No, I don't know. What's the studio that's doing Crystal? I know that that's not my answer. I'm not.
Is that not Toei?
Is it not? Is it still Toei? I don't know. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the animation in that.
DreamWorks should do it. No, I'm kidding. Definitely not.
And then we get Sailor Moon with that weird smirk.
No, it's definitely still Toei doing Crystal.
Maybe a Leica Sailor Moon. Like some stop motion Sailor Moon.
Oh, what's the guy who did Lord of the Rings?
Peter Jackson?
No, the cartoon.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, like Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, there we go.
That would be. I would kind of be into that. It would be so squirrely looking. It would be weird.
I want fucking Don Bluth to roll up and be like, hey, Ikuhara, you think you're a creep? Check this out.
Oh man.
I mean, I guess like obviously Miyazaki too.
Yeah, I mean the Miyazaki Sailor Moon would be like the most wholesome version of Sailor Moon that could possibly exist.
He's retired though. He's out of the game.
Sure he is.
He's doing one more film, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he is.
I actually saw Castle Cagliostro pretty recently. It was really good. It was so good.
Yeah. Castle of Cagliostro is extremely good.
I was really impressed with it. I mean, I had never seen it. We went and saw it in the theater.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of those they've had like the Fathom events for all the Studio Ghibli films or the Miyazaki films, which has been kind of cool.
Hey everybody, Jay here, just cutting in. I asked Shannon what she thought, and she said either Madhouse, who did One Punch Man, or Bones, who does My Hero Academia. Both of those would be really good Sailor's Moon, I think.
Let's see, what else we got? Matt Griffiths asks, what if the story flipped and you started out with the outer senshi instead of the inner ones? Well, we discussed that a little bit in that it would be a murder show.
Yeah, it'd be a 5-episode season.
Like, it would be a show, because then when the inner senshi... If we were focused on Neptune and Uranus, right? And then one by one, the inner senshi awakened, like it would be them in bringing them into murder, like them training them how to kill people and monsters.
Yeah, like the question is, do you want to see Queen Beryl get her throat slit? Because I think that would absolutely happen.
Oh, man. And here we go. Soso Sundar asks... how bad / hilarious would Neo Queen Serenity's Twitter feed be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Twitter?
I mean, it would be very bad and very hilarious.
Would it be like a lot of live, laugh, I don't know, eat lemon pie? Like,
well, it would be mostly retweets, first of all. Like, I think very rarely, and then very little punctuation.
It would be like a lot of retweet and follow to win a free cake.
Yep.
It would be a lot of that.
It would be very Jaden Smithy, actually, now that I think of it. It would be like...
Oh, no.
a lot of really, like deep sincerity and a lot of capitalized words.
Let's see. Let me look.
Well, I mean, someone did go and get Moon Princess 420.
Yes, that is out there.
Oh, man.
Which I think there would be a lot of life's a dirty game. You got to play dirty to win it. Usagi's Kino.
That would be more Uranus, honestly. Like, love means nothing.
Oh, I'm not finding that account anymore.
The Moon Princess 420.
Did you make the zeros?
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
There we go. That's
the extra
it is.
twist. That's the prestige.
Well,
on
I
that
think when
Twitter
she's
account.
royalty, I think that she would be like kind of boring, honestly. I think it would be more of like a lifestyle. Like she would be like all the former stars of the hills who now all have like lifestyle brands and recommend, recipes for Halloween, like fun Halloween recipes, and have giveaways for jewelry and stuff like that. It would be really boring. That's my feeling.
All right, one more question, and then we'll get back to it.
All right, one more question. Darius Knight asks, what would Sailor Moon be like if it was a shonen anime instead of a magical girl anime?
I mean, it would be exactly like this.
It wouldn't be any different?
No, I mean, like, I don't think the shonen shoujo divide in a show like Sailor Moon that's already about like fighting and friendship, like, I don't think it would be that different.
Would there be more yelling?
I mean, could there be more yelling?
I mean, I would be very interested in a shonen show that was about boys who had to heal the world with their love. That would be, because yes, there's like fighting and friendship in those shows, but they're not about like ultimately how the only thing that will solve problems is like to love people. That doesn't happen.
You know what? I think actually, now that we're talking about it, the answer to this question is kind of the same as our answer about the inner senshi. Like that's the more shonen version, where the scouts are like way more aggro about it, and they're like, no, we don't win through love, we win through being warriors.
But they have to be proven wrong though at a certain point. Then
It's literally just the outer senshi,
right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the show.
All right.
Super.
The joke doesn't work anymore.
So Usagi is on her way home from drowning her sorrows in milkshake when she runs into Chibiusa. She was like, hey, come quick. There's some guy and he wants radishes.
No, she literally says, we've got a situation.
Well, I mean, that's true.
Sure. It's a very weird way to say it. And apparently they do go buy radishes because she has a bag when they show up on the scene.
Yeah. So, again, time for more bush hiding. Because Usagi and Chibi start looking out at Ikuko and Hawkeye. And Usagi is immediately like, I can't believe Mom is fucking some other dude.
It's crazy.
She goes 0 to 60 on this. No faith in her mom at all.
Like, but I mean, this also tracks with last week where it's like Reika's just sitting on a hill with Tiger's Eye, and then they're like, "What's she doing? She must be cheating." Like in the Sailor Moon universe, you could not sit with a man without having an affair.
Oh, they're so innocent. Again, she's mortified by the outfit, like you said.
Yeah. So then, as they are watching, Hawkeye hits her with the old 1, 2, 3. Changes into his honest. Like, we've talked about whether or not there's any Western comics influence on Sailor Moon. He is dressed like Hawkeye.
What?
Really?
No, he's not. He's dressed like he's dressed like an 80s aerobic dancer.
He's wearing a crop top.
Purple mini skirt.
Does Hawkeye wear a crop top?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, hold up! I'm gonna have to get some visual reference for y'all.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna find this thing, and you're gonna I'm going to be vindicated in this.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, we'll talk about how wrong Chris is, I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna bring up a picture of Hawkeye just so I can see his outfit in all its glory, because he does have it's like a sash.
Oh, boom, found it. Oh, I hope y'all are ready.
No, I'm not.
Because I don't think you're ready for this, Jelly. Yep.
No.
I mean,
First of all, that's a terrible outfit.
That's pretty much the American comics version of what Hawkeye is wearing.
It's pretty awful. But it's also probably not seen very much.
the headband I feel like is a key part of this outfit, and he does not have a headband. And also, it's not a crop top.
No, but it does have a deep V.
Show me another American superhero who's actually wearing a crop top. And then...
I didn't know Hawkeye was actually a stone as well.
Is a Hoxeye a
Yeah,
stone?
I just Googled Hoxeye and what came up was a bunch of fucking pictures of rocks.
Oh, I got a bunch of birds.
Is a fisheye a stone?
Is it what?
Maybe.
Is a fisheye a stone?
Fish eye.
A fisheye is a stone.
Wow, I never would have guessed that. You're right. Yeah, it is. Dang.
Wow. How very... It's an agate.
Oh, an agate.
So many rocks. Everybody fighting
They're all
rocks all the
rock
So
time.
much about rocks from this show.
I mean, we should have known they were because every other character is, but it just didn't sound like rock names. I was just, I mean, we knew Cat's Eye was one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I mean, her name's not really Cat's Eye. Her name's
That's
Cohen.
right.
True, you're right. Good point.
Yeah. Like, because they're not rocks. Rubius and Esmeralda and
No, I
Demond
think you might be
and-
mistaken about that. Let me look.
No. But Cohen and Berthier aren't.
Let's look. Yeah, maybe that's true. Which is funny because the names in English are all closer to one. Birdie isn't
Yeah.
that I know of, but Prisma's close.
Prisma.
Avery is kind of like Ivory. I don't know. Huh. Well, what do you know about that? I guess that's why they could be turned good.
Right.
That's true. You can't be turned good if you're a rock. Rocks are set in stone.
Oh, wow. Now I'm looking at some really, really good Amazon Trio cosplay.
Oh,
Wow. There's not
I'm a little
there's not
scared to
near
see
this
that.
is not this is a cool picture. It doesn't really show all of the cosplay, but there's not very much cosplay as maybe it would be easy to guess.
This is a really good one where the three of them are
Yeah.
sitting in a bar
Hella cute
looking at
photos. Yep.
pictures of girls.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
There's a pretty decent amount of it. I'm seeing
Oh.
quite a few pictures of them.
Huh. They're kind of deep cuts. They don't. Oh, here's another one. Yeah. God. They really do have some of the worst outfits in all of Sailor Moon villaindom.
They look ridiculous.
All
They
right,
do
so
look
Hoxeye gives the old 1, 2, 3. She gets manacled to the knife thrower board. The mirror pops out, and Chibiusa goes, "Usagi, we have to transform." And Usagi goes, "I know," which I think is very funny.
Thankfully, we get a non-nude chibi transformation.
Yeah, we get just the standard like heart spiral transformation, which is fine. No
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
adjust.
Thank you for taking whatever notes they got after the last episode.
But we do get the full Usagi transformation, which is still a very good scene. But then,
Mama faints.
yeah, Ikuko passes out. And before Hoxeye can stick his head into her dreams, we get the speech about how he took advantage of a beautiful housewife who only wants the best for her children, and they're going to punish him in the name of the moon. Shokyo?
I wrote down, is it more creepy or less creepy if they look in the dream when the person is passed out?
I would say probably equally.
Yeah.
Now, remember when we got that Cuckoo Bananas villain last episode?
Yep.
Let's talk about Dokanko, the human
my
cannon.
God.
All right.
Dokanko, the human cannon, is amazing.
It's like the most inefficient monster of the week of all time.
Oh yeah, she's horrible.
Yeah.
But again, we get like that really cool scene where his shadow comes to
Yeah.
life and kind of, morphs into this monster. And I love that it like turns kind of oily and then all the points come out because
Yeah.
Dokanko has these huge pointy
Mhm.
bullet boobs.
Very Madonna style.
Yes. And then just a giant cannon rolls up behind her. Not sure where that was. And her whole deal is that she, like, in the way that they are circus performers, she's the human cannonball.
Yeah.
Well,
And they literally just watch her while she's getting into the cannon, lighting the match on the fuse, and they just sort of stand there stock still being like, what's going on? And they just let her do her thing, which is ridiculous, but
and then they just stand there. Like, not only do they stand there for the beginning of it, they stand there for the 10 minutes it takes for her to fly through the air to
Yeah.
them.
I
Get out of the way.
genuinely think one of the funniest things in this episode is when Dokanko reaches back to light the fuse and she's just using like a big lighter. It's like, did she stop at the 7-Eleven on the way? Like, it's such a mundane thing for her to be using. It's very funny to me.
So the only reason that the two Yusas, I should say, or the two moons, get out of the way is because Love Me Chain grabs them and pulls them out of the way. Because they were just looking.
They were just going to watch. They wanted to see what happened. They were like,
yeah. I mean, in their defense, it's pretty surprising. So they're probably just looking, going like, "Duh, what?"
Also, I mean, I guess they are circus performers, and they're meant to be watched. So there's some part of your brain that's just like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this spectacle." But still, guys.
So then she runs back to the cannon,
right?
Redoes the whole thing, the whole sequence. It's shot all over again.
Yeah. Even blows through sparkling wide pressure.
Right.
But then when she crashes, she gets up and goes, "Hey,
stop dodging!
Stop dodging, you guys!"
Yeah, and by the way, they're lucky they dodged because again, they stood in a giant cluster of all of them, so they could have all been taken out.
This was almost the end of the show.
Yeah, they jumped away at the last second.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love that she goes, "Hey, stop dodging," and then Ray goes, "Of course we're gonna dodge." Like Dokanko the human cannon seems legitimately concerned that they're gonna ruin her act. Then she kills Chibiusa.
Well, she kills Chibiusa after Chibiusa. Again, this season. Last episode, I was like, okay, so the season's over because they go, one of these kids here has the horse. No, this episode, Chibiusa calls the victim mommy.
Yeah, no, I wrote that down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they should be like, oh, she lives with her. Now we know to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only, it's not like she says it once and Hawkeye misses it. He goes, "Hey, what did you say?" And Chibiusa goes, "Oh, she's my mom. She's my other mom."
Yeah.
Like, let me repeat this for you so you know for sure. Like, here, let me get your attention with Pink Sugar Heart Attack.
Like, she should have been like,
you know, my other mommy.
Yeah, she should have been like, I mean, she's somebody's mom.
Yeah.
That's what.
And then it cuts to Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon's just like all smiles. She's like, "Oh, isn't that cute?" It's like, oh.
Yeah, no, Sailor Moon was at least smart enough to just be like, "Hey, she's a mom. How dare you?"
Oh yeah, so she she does manage to pull off Pink Sugar Heart Attack for once.
Yes. He goes to Hawkeye goes to backslap her, and Sailor Moon just bum rushes him, just shoulder tackles him, and he lands like 10 feet away. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah, we very rarely get physical fighting.
And then she gets out the Moon Scepter, and we're about to get some Moon Spiral Heart Attack.
But wait.
But
gasp. What?
Yes.
He sticks his hand out and just like absorbs, like, because we all know what Moon Spiral Heart Attack looks like, right? It's one giant heart-shaped rock. Except that he grabs it, like holds out his hand, and like Darth Vader grabs a bunch of little tiny paper hearts and then breathes fire at her. He's immune to Moon Spiral Heart Attack.
Yeah, which is crazy. Meanwhile, rockets are still flying. Well, Rocket Lady, the Rocketeer, or Bulleteer from DC.
Yes. Or Dokanko the human cannon.
Sure. And so
why would you ever not take the opportunity to say Dokanko the human cannon? It's so fun to say.
So he finally gets his opportunity to stick his head in her mirror, and
it never sounds better. It never sounds okay.
It's awful.
Just walks up to that unconscious woman, sticks his head into a mirror, her soul mirror, to look at her beautiful dreams.
If you know what we mean. And he's like, no, nothing's happening there. So then they're gonna kill.
No horses.
No horses. This woman does not dream about horses. So then Chibi prays to Pegasus, like you do on a regular basis.
Because he does say early in this episode, he says, like, "Hey, when you're in trouble, just call my name."
Yes.
So here's my interpretation of what happened, and I know that I'm not 100% right, but what my interpretation is, they call up Pegasus, and Pegasus goes, "Ladies, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
You can't call me every day and have me turn you into Super Sailor Moon. Why don't you just have a new crystal?
I'll make you an extra key."
Yeah, you exactly. You can just do it yourself from now on. How about
just let yourself in? So they get their new brooches, which look
They look
really
great.
cool.
Little heart brooches
Yeah.
now.
Well, they look really cool in the close-up shot. They do not look really cool when it cuts back to the wide shot, and it's just a pink heart with a moon drawn on it.
It's just a little heart, yeah.
Yeah.
Only Chibi can hear him, so she has to instruct Sailor Moon on what to say. But they do Moon Crisis makeup. They get a new transformation.
This has the let's whisper a secret in each other's ears moment in it, which is so weird.
It does. Yeah, where they're like nuzzling. Yeah.
Well, the last episode's transformation sequence, not a fan. I actually think this one is
this
really
one's fine.
good.
I like it okay.
I mean, you still get naked Chibi, but it's not as blatant.
It's not
doing
naked.
the
It's the silhouette.
She's not doing
She
the
doesn't
split.
do the split.
Exactly.
And also her mom's there.
There's something about
So it's all appropriate.
yeah, there's something about Sailor Moon being there where it's like a mother-daughter transformation, which is like less creepy, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't really sure what it was, but I honestly think it's just like, oh, her mom's there.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah.
So then their wands transform. And again, Sailor Moon gets the awesome kaleidoscope wand.
Mhm.
Chibi gets a
bell.
a bell,
To carry.
which I don't listen. I know some people probably think it's cool. I do not think it's cool. I think the scepter before was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Just a bell?
I am so conflicted about this attack because I think that the whole rigmarole of having to call upon Pegasus with the bell is so annoying. It feels like the rhythm of the battle just comes to a standstill because like all this music cuts out and you hear a ding dong and hear a horse. And it's just like, what's going on? But then the actual attack that she does with Sailor Moon is very cool. I think that's a very, very cool attack.
Sure.
Twinkle Bell is bad. Moon Gorgeous Meditation is awesome.
Yeah, no, Moon Gorgeous Meditation with the split screen and everything, it looks fantastic. I actually like it better than the Moon Spiral Heart Attack. But
the only thing I don't like about it, because I do like it, but the only thing I don't like about it is that it has to start with stupid Pegasus.
Yeah. It's such a, the whole, when it happens in future episodes, it feels like the whole episode just grinds to a halt because you have to call on a stupid horse and it just shows up and like neighs and then they get on with the next attack. But it just feels like a screech to a halt.
But I really wish it was just Usagi's part because it's so awesome. Because you get the close up of the moon kaleidoscope or kaleidomoonscope, then she cuts the screen in half, then she does like a bunch of really cool poses.
Yeah.
That this is where Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant comes from, right? It's all this,
and like the whole like the speed of the movements and stuff. It's like a lot of freeze poses, but then like really quick like transitions to the next one. It's very very cool looking.
And she gets the she does the Thundercats move.
Mm-hmm.
She does the little Sword of Omens move, which is cool. And then she shoots laser beams that put you in the Phantom Zone. It's really I really like it.
They also have a moment of kaleidoscope effect too to justify everything.
Yes.
No, it's really it's good. It's a good attack. I also I don't mind that Chibiusa is a part of it too. Like she's kind of backing her up. It's like it's cute. It's teamwork. Yeah.
Can she do it when Chibi's not around? That's what I want to know. I guess we'll see.
Well, Chibi has to summon Pegasus with Twinkle Yell.
Oh yeah, so probably not then. Good point.
So goodbye, Dokenko the Human Cannon. Stage out for you.
Stage out.
I wanted to mention how long that 5 seconds was. She does her I lit the fuse and I'll be launched in 5 seconds. 5. And then we get the entire attack, which is like 5 minutes.
Which is 2 attacks. two attacks and a horse.
Right. And then
There's
she's
a
like
little time
3.
stretching, I think. Oh, also, I was going to ask, I think I had always seen that it was called Twinkle Bell in other wikis and stuff like that, and maybe other subs of it. But then I was watching it on Viz and it was Twinkle Yell, which is very weird.
Is that what
it is? Twinkle Yell is what it says in these subtitles.
Yeah.
Here. Actually, let me pop the volume back on real quick.
I can't decide which one is better. I think Twinkle Yell is kind of funny.
That is what it says here online.
Okay, here's what's hilarious. She says Twinkle L.
Twinkle L.
There's no consonant sound at the start of it.
Huh.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Twinkle Yell would be a really good name for another show. I don't know what it would be about, but I like just the sound of that energy. Sounds really fun.
Hawk's Eye backflips into another dimension, and we cut back to enjoying some delicious lemon cake.
Pie.
Lemon pie.
Oh my god, I can't believe you screwed that up.
Fuck off, Jordan.
And then Usagi says to Chibi, hey, let's switch slices because your slice is bigger. Wow.
Yeah. And then who is it? Who is it that says like, hey, cutting a pie into 10 equal pieces is difficult? And Ami, in a legitimately amazing moment, goes,
So
no, it's 360 degrees. It's just 36 degrees a slice.
Obviously.
ridiculous.
Like, just get out the protractor and fucking measure it, guys.
She does say that. She's like, we should have brought a protractor.
I do want to point out that Usagi headbutts Chibi when she's yelling at her about the pie slice.
Well, they kind of like get their foreheads together and push back and forth.
It looked like a headbutt to me.
I mean, no, there is an actual headbutt in it, and then there's the pushing back and forth.
Gotcha.
There is a little bonk line.
Advice: do not headbutt your child.
I mean, have you headbutted Darian yet?
No.
Well, then you don't know if it works.
Oh Jesus! All right,
So
I'll try
that's
it.
a good thing. Just kidding. Please do not headbutt your child, Jordan. Please do
Not
not. headbutt
even
your
just to
baby.
see what happens. Just don't do it.
Babies' heads are notoriously soft.
Yep.
So it won't hurt my head at all.
So that's the end of the episode. Let's talk about what we've learned. It's time for Sailor Business Says. Emily, what did you learn from this episode?
Well, if your beautiful dream is to have a family and be a good mother, a really good way to fast track that is just to believe every person who comes into your life who says they're your child. Works for Ikuko.
Oh, jeez. Well, she doesn't believe that one guy, at least.
Yeah, but she's kind of on the edge, and she
She's on the
definitely
fence, yeah.
she definitely believes Chibiusa. Yeah.
Oh, God, poor lady.
Yeah.
I learned the true fear that comes from food grudges. They're pretty scary.
God, I forgot about food grudges. That feels like forever
how
ago.
scary they are. Yeah, intense. How about you, Chris?
I learned that you can never have too many lemons.
That's true.
Also true. Yeah,
That was almost my lesson.
If you're going to buy 4, buy 12.
sure.
They're cheap.
Stock up on lemons.
That's
Why
3
not?
pies, dude.
Well,
Would you rather have scurvy?
No, I'm saying 3 pies is good. Like more pies, the better.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a little confrontational. I apologize.
I mean, she could also make, what is it, like chicken? Is it chicken cacciatore that uses lemon, or is it?
Oh,
There's like an Italian chicken dish that uses lemon.
I believe so.
Very
There's also
piquant.
chicken limon, which is Italian.
Yeah.
There's just lemon chicken.
Yeah, lemon. Yeah, okay.
Also, yeah, throw some lemons on, like make a lobster. Throw some lemons on there.
Yeah, totally.
I don't personally like lobster, but people who do seem to like lemon juice on it.
Or some shrimp cocktail.
Lemons.
sure.
What can't they do?
Or learn to play the violin with them.
Yeah.
You have so many options in the exciting world of citrus fruits. So that's the episode. Weird as hell.
Uh-huh.
Everything about this one is super weird in a way that I really genuinely love.
It's a good one.
It's
I don't know if I love it or not. I'm always on the fence with this whole season because parts of it I think are like genuinely like much more psychologically interesting than they have any right or need to be. But then sometimes it just feels like it's not intentional and it's just all over the place. So I don't know.
yeah. It's completely bananas in every way. Hawk's Eye is a huge weirdo. The whole thing of, oh, well, Chibi's separated from her parents. No, she's not. And also she could literally go back at any time. Like she just has to pray to the Greek god of time for the ability to go to that pond. It's food grudges, like the ill-defined family. Like, I cannot imagine you seeing this is your first episode of Sailor Moon and understanding even a bit what Chibiusa's actual deal is, other than that she's a pretty guardian trainee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's
it's
what I get.
The family thing is very different. It's I have to explain this to a lot of people if they're like watching it for the first time and they're like, who is this child? It's like, well, you see, it's this our main character's daughter from the future, but she's kind of her sister. Like it's a difficult thing for first timers.
Jordan, any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a super fun episode. So yeah, I recommend it as well. I'm in favor of it.
Well, I had a whole lot of fun talking about it. Now, Emily, I went and looked, and you said this wasn't your first choice of episode, but you said anything in the first 4 episodes of this season you would be up for talking about. Was there a particular reason?
No, just because of the whole establishing kind of the new enemy and stuff. I do think that it's very interesting to talk about the whole dream mirror thing, as creepy as it is. I think it's like one of the more interesting visual ideas of the show, especially if it's, really meant to be as rapey as it appears, and like what's it saying about that kind of violation is very interesting. I have no idea how it was taken or interpreted in Japan at the time, but I find it to be kind of fascinating. And a lot of these are very Ikuhara episodes too, and that's even though I prefer S overall, these definitely have his stamp of weirdness, which I'm into.
A thing that I really appreciate about the Dead Moon Circus so far is that they are so themed. The villains are circus themed villains. It's not like the Cardians where they were kind of mythology, kind of tarot cards, but then not. It's not like the droids, which were all over the map. And the Yoma, obviously, also completely weird. And as much as I like them, there's no theming to them. It's just like whatever we need that week.
Yeah.
The Dead Moon Circus is all circus stuff. Like, the main villains are circus people. The establishing shots where people are like, "Oh man, Tiger's Eye fucked up again." Like, there's sword swallowers and fire eaters. There's human cannonballs. I really like that it's so tightly themed around a theme that can do so much weird stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I mentioned Paprika in an earlier, I don't remember if it was this week or the week before, which is about dreams. Like, have you guys seen that? The Satoshi Kon film?
No.
Oh.
I have not. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
It's completely, it's great. It's really, really good. It's essentially Inception. Like Inception ripped off a bunch of Paprika, but it's about like this device that lets people go into dreams so that they can kind of fix them and stuff. And it is also very circusy. And I don't know if that's just like something that's associated, like dream logic and the circus are kind of associated in like kind of in Japanese like culture or understanding or something. I'm not really sure, but I think that's sort of interesting because they're playing with a lot of the same ideas, and it's also very like big top.
Gotcha.
Very fun stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, I think it's time we should get out of here. Where can people find you online, should you wish to be found?
You can find me on Twitter at Emily Yoshida, all one word. And I write movie reviews at Vulture on New York Magazine's website. What? New York Magazine's website? Vulture? Yes. Vulture.com. It's where I review movies. And I think also about the time that this podcast comes out, I will have a new podcast. So but I'm not sure if I will yet or not. But at least like if you look at my Twitter, there should probably be information about that. I'm getting back in the podcasting game. So
nice. Congrats.
Thanks.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at Crackshot with a 0 instead of an O. You can find the show at Sailor Business. You can find our producer, Jake Mason, at JJ_Mason. He does a whole bunch of other podcasts. Chris, let's talk about them. For example, The Morphin Grid,
Spectre,
Pokemon World Tour,
Pokemon World Tour United,
Hard Reboot,
Kingdom Smarts,
Cool Kids Table. That's
so many podcasts. That's like one every day. Jake, what? That's too many. Jake, buddy, you're recording yourself into madness.
I mean, listen, don't say that, because the easiest one for him to drop is ours.
Oh no, he needs to keep doing ours.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously. No, check out Jake's stuff. If you haven't heard it yet, Kingdom Smarts is Jake and Sailor Business All-Star Shannon Maynor, and it's Shannon explaining Kingdom Hearts to him, which is notoriously complicated. So make sure to catch up on that. And I'm going to be a guest on Spectre. Jordan, are you a James Bond guy?
No, I've seen some James Bond, not all of it, not even close.
There's only 23. That's just like 3 birthdays for you.
I think I've only seen like 8, maybe. That's a guess.
That's weird because that is not an insignificant amount of movies.
I know, but it's not even a third of the James Bond movies.
I would not know how many James Bond movies I had seen off the top of my head, so impressed.
I mean, I'm guessing. I saw all of the Pierce Brosnans, I saw one of the Daniel Craigs, and I saw maybe 3 of the Sean Connerys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 7 or 8. Yeah. So, wait, have you not seen? Okay, never mind. We'll talk about this later. Everybody, we are going to be back next week with another episode of Sailor Business. Make sure you head over to patreon.com/sailorbusiness and throw us a little money if you would like to. And if you are able to, if you're not or you don't, that's also okay. We appreciate